All right. Hi, everyone. This is Joe Massaro, and I usually come to you wearing a different hat, but today I'm very excited because I am the founder and curator of In Their Hands, which is celebrating the month of October for National Reading Month. And so you've been following us along throughout the month. And when you get to this, you're seeing not only our author, but myself. So I'm really honored today to introduce author and a new friend, Crystal Bowman. So welcome.
Thank you.
Now, Crystal, you are, when I read about you, I was just totally and completely amazed. You have written over 100 books for children?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I'm working on my first one, so
I've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah, you have for sure. But you are an award-winning author, best-selling author of over, like I said, 100 books for children, and the creator and co-author of Our Daily Bread for Kids, which I did not even know existed, which is really wonderful, and my Read and Rhyme Bible storybook. That is just absolutely amazing. And so we've come together today because you're actually going to be reading one of your new books. You want to tell us a little bit about it?
Well, this is my brand new picture book. It's called I Love You to the Stars, When Grandma Forgets, Love Remembers. And it just came out yesterday, so you're going to be the first ones to ever even hear the story.
Oh,
and
yes.
It was
I didn't
inspired
realize
by
that.
a true story. There's another name on the book. You'll see Doug Grutheis, and he's a professor, and his wife in her 50s, which is very young for adults, she developed a disease called dementia. Alzheimer's is another form of that disease. And he wrote a story about it for adults, but he also wanted to have a children's story. And since he doesn't write for children, he asked if I would help him do that. And so it's inspired by a true story. The dog in the story is true. The policeman in the story is true. And so I'm excited to share it with you. There are parts that are kind of sad, but it does end with hope. And like I said, it's inspired by a true story. So it's just one of the things that many families face in life. But because we have Jesus, we can always have hope. So
Into that, amen. Well, while you're reading, I have a cup of tea sitting right here. So I'm going to be enjoying you reading and having my cup of tea. But what I'm going to do is take myself off screen,
okay,
so that Crystal can have the full screen. And let me just mute my camera. And you have your full screen over there?
I do not.
Okay, so go back up to the top. Try gallery.
It says speaker view.
I click the other one. Click on it. Are you on the gallery?
Yeah, yeah, I think we can do this. I think we're good.
Okay.
All right. Are you ready for me to start?
We are ready and excited.
All right. So this is I Love You to the Stars, When Grandma Forgets, Love Remembers. And I cannot wait to share the story with you, but also the illustrations. And you're going to especially love the dog. These pages are brand new, so they don't turn that easily. I was happy when Grandma and Sonny moved in with us. Our extra bedroom was just right for them. This is our home now, Grandma told Sonny. Every night, Sonny slept on Grandma's bed. Grandma called him her foot warmer. Grandma taught me how to put jigsaw puzzles together the right way. First, you connect the outside edges and then you fill in the middle pieces, she said. Sonny always sat next to Grandma as we worked on our puzzles. Sometimes he would nuzzle her leg. Other times he would lift his head to the table to watch what we were doing. Do you see him doing that in the picture? Grandma said he was part human. Grandma listened as I practiced reading my books. When I got stuck on a word, Grandma would help me figure it out. Sound out the letters, she said, and I would. Sonny would listen too. He liked books about cars and trains, but he did not like books about cats. In the afternoon, we would take Sonny to the playground. "Fetch the ball," said Grandma as she threw it in the air. Sonny and I chased the ball to see who could get it first. Then Grandma would hide the ball. "Close your eyes and no fair peeking," she said. Sonny always found it before I did. Grandma said it was because he had a good sniffer. "Touch your toes to the stars," Grandma said as she pushed me in the swing. "Oh, Grandma, I don't see any stars." "Even though you can't see them, they are there. Millions of them. They never go away." I didn't know that, but Grandma did. On Saturdays, Grandma helped my mom with the laundry. She always hummed as she took the clothes out of the dryer, folded them just so, then put them where they belonged. When she thought no one was watching, she would dance around the room and pretend she was a ballerina. I love that picture of Grandma. At bedtime, Grandma would tickle my toes to make me giggle. Then she would pull the blankets to my chin and say a rhyme she made up just for me. "I love you to Mars. I love you to the stars. I love you always, wherever you are." Then one day, when I came home from school, a police car was in my driveway. Grandma had taken Sonny for a walk and they got lost. A nice police officer brought them home. "Good thing Sonny had our address on his dog tag." "Sonny went the wrong way," said Grandma as she shook her head. The next day, Grandma put my jeans in my mom's closet and she put Sonny's ball in my sock drawer. Grandma sat next to me and Sonny as I read my book out loud. "What's that word, Grandma?" I asked. "I think it's flower," she said. But the word was not flower. Flower starts with F, and this word started with an M. When Grandma couldn't find her purse, my mom found it in the pantry next to the marshmallows. And when she couldn't find her shoes, Sonny found them in the bathtub. My mom took Grandma to a doctor. The next morning in the kitchen, Mom was crying. "What's wrong?" I asked. "Grandma is sick. It's not like a stomachache or a sore throat that you can catch from someone else. It's called dementia, and it makes Grandma forget things." I didn't know that word, but I knew I didn't like it. "Grandma loves you very much," said Mom. "She has always helped us. Now it's our turn to help her." Grandma didn't want to do puzzles anymore, and when I read my books to her, it seemed like she wasn't listening. Sometimes when she tried to talk, the words didn't come out right. Sonny just sat by her side, tall and straight like a watchdog. Then one day when I played her favorite song, Grandma smiled. She hummed a few notes and sang some of the words. Hearing her sing made me happy, and I sang too. Sonny even wagged his tail. But after a while, Grandma's sickness got worse. She needed help with everything, and my mom couldn't take care of her anymore. Grandma had to move to another home. I really miss my grandma, and I think of her when I look at the stars, and I ask God to take care of her. Sonny misses her too, and waits for her to come home, but she doesn't. But Mom and I go to visit Grandma at her new home. Sonny comes along too. Grandma has lots of helpers who make her food and help her do things like get dressed and brush her teeth. Sonny wiggles all over when he sees Grandma. Then he sits close to her and puts his head on her foot. One time Grandma said, "My foot warmer." We all laughed and Sonny said, "Woof." Sometimes Mom brushes Grandma's hair while I read her a story. She smiles when we sing her favorite song. And when it's time to go, I give Grandma a hug and I whisper in her ear, I love you to Mars. I love you to the stars. I love you always, wherever you are. So thank you for letting me share that book with you. I hope you like it. It's brand new, and so you're the first ones who get to see it.
And I should be back on in a second.
You are.
And there we are. I have to tell you that it was a beautifully written book. I absolutely loved it. And you were right, the illustrations are just beautiful.
Thank you.
They really are. If someone is interested in connecting with you, how do they do that?
Well, they can visit my website, which is crystalbowman.com. It's just my name. Also, I'm open to emails, crystaljbowman@gmail.com. Don't forget the J. There's another Crystal Bowman who often gets my emails. So crystaljbowman@gmail.com. So either my website or my Gmail address, I would be happy to talk with anyone. The book is available on Amazon. It's published by Kriegel Publishing House, so you can get it from their website. I believe it's also on christianbook.com if you prefer to use that site. It's available wherever books are sold. So,
well, we so appreciate you being with us. And let me just say, every night when you are listening to authors, get your favorite drink and enjoy the time with your family and listen to some of the amazing authors that we have throughout the month. So thank you so much, Crystal, for being
thank you. It was my privilege and my honor. Thank you so much for thinking of me and for inviting me, especially when you have a brand new book out. You can't wait to share it. So thank you.
It was pretty exciting that it just came out. So that worked out perfectly.
It came out yesterday.
Yes.
So,
all right, everybody.
So
thank you. Okay, thank you again. We really enjoyed it.